This is meteorologist Mike Seidel, and here it comes. We've been talking about this all afternoon. This is the line of storms coming right into the extreme northwest corner of Missouri. Lightning flashing. Look above us. This is the shelf cloud coming right over us. These storms are moving at about 50 miles an hour. This is an incredible shot up here on this hill. I mean, this is really what severe season is all about. The photo ops and also, unfortunately, the danger involved for these storms. Now, what we're going to see here, lightning, we've seen a lot of that. Also, the risk certainly of straight line wind damage. Now, the winds to our south and west, Topeka gusting 35, Manhattan 34. So we haven't had the kind of winds we saw earlier west of Wichita and Pratt. They had a gust to 92 miles an hour. Look at the edge as Matt Safer pans off. Now we're looking almost due south. And look at the edge of the shelfie. The birds they're just going crazy. The wind's shifting up here over the TV tower. Look how fast that is moving. And then we look back here. Look how dark it's getting. Now, once we get below that edge, that's when the rain's going to start coming. We can feel the wind picking up right now. We haven't had the downburst of wind, the wind coming down to the ground to really drop those temperatures yet, but the wind has shifted, but the temperature hasn't dropped that much. But this is, boy, this is one scary sky here again. We're about 50 miles north of Kansas City. We're in St. Joe, Missouri, and this is the line of storms. Again, it's had a history of producing large hail and wind damage. The severe thunderstorm warning right now includes Buchanan County, this western Buchanan County. They will extend that, no doubt, and that is for the risk of wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. In fact, we just see our trained weather spotter reported a 65-mile-an-hour wind west of St. Joe. So the wind is starting to pick up now. We can feel it here down on the ground. Time to take the hat off, and the sky gets dark. We're still about 20 minutes away from official sunset. Now you can hear the wind rustling. Let's go back to Carl Parker. We'll stay out here, and boy, here comes that wind. There goes the cold air. Boy, we just felt it. The temperature just dropped probably 7 or 8 degrees, and the wind now coming in from the west, and with that temperature just dropping. Look, can you hear the wind out here, Carl? It is all of a sudden comes right down, the cool air. It's denser, it's heavier, so it comes down to the earth, and so it's coming right at us. Look at the trees now being whipped by the wind. Lightning in the distance. Fortunately, we're in an area where there's not much that can be picked up. Wow. This is what meteorologists live for. Look at the tree over there. You can see how it's bending from the wind. And these winds now are coming in from the southwest and west. They were south all day, gusting 30, 35 miles an hour. Now we're starting to feel a few drops of rain as we roll through the next couple minutes. The rain intensity will get hit by the wall rain. And we'll also feel those temperatures drop even further because of the evaporational cooling of the rainfall. Getting very, very dark now. Cloud to cloud lightning off in the distance. The shelf cloud now going past us obviously doesn't look as vivid once it goes over you and past you, but these winds gusting, I'd say about 30, maybe 35 miles an hour. We certainly didn't get a gust any higher than that so far. What we're going to do now is we're going to work down the roadway. That's safer. Let's work down the roadway and back to our safety. And we're going to get inside before the rain hits and the main brunt of the storm hits. Matt, stay with us. Carl Parker's back in the studio. Hey, Mike. Boy, it is really getting dark.
Hey, Mike, so
yeah,
you and I are from Maryland, and I've been out in the plains a few times, and I've seen some storms out there. And my instant feeling when I saw storms out there was that they are entirely different animals as compared to storms in the east. Do you agree?
Well, yes, and also back east you have the problem with visibility and trees, especially when you get into the summer months and it's hazy. Out here, you can see almost for miles and miles. Now, again, we are in the town, the city of St. Joseph, so we do have buildings and some obstructions, but you get outside of town, and I want to tell you, you can see forever, and that's why tracking storms is so much easier. We'll get across the main road here, and we're going to head over to the Hampton Inn. That's our shelter for safety. Still just a few raindrops, but as this rolls towards us here, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to get hit by the heavy rainfall. Rain, by the way, is what they need here. They've only had 3 inches of rain so far in 2018. We're into May, so 4 months, 3 inches of rain. They are now down 5 inches. So they're not going to complain about some rain. However, there could be an issue tomorrow morning, early in the morning, if we get storms redeveloping, not severe, but heavy rain, that we could be looking at some localized flooding. There's Old Glory in the wind. So that wind now is coming due west, coming right in from the west. There goes a pretty close flash of lightning. So instead of a south wind, it's a west wind. The temperature earlier, a few hours ago, was in the low 80s. We've now dropped down, I'd say, to around 68, 69 degrees. So we're now back at the hotel, our safe shelter. Light rainfall at this point. Again, the other thing that's changed, Carl, and we noticed that on the radar, I'm sure you've noticed, is the amount of lightning has decreased over the past few hours. And now we're looking off to the east, and you can see the leading edge. So if you were, say, 5 or 6 miles east of here, you would see what we saw 7 or 8 minutes ago. You would see that shelf cloud. So now we're getting into the storm. Lightning and heavy rain is due here at any moment. Certainly good downpours. But Mike and Alex, it would seem, at least where we're standing in St. Joe, where we're on the east side of town, that we've avoided the strongest winds, at least at this point. That's not to say we may not still get some gusts as we get the core of that rain shaft in here in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, great illustration there from Mike Seidel of what goes on with these thunderstorms and when outflow comes and gets you and when that shelf cloud comes and gets you.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, like you said, this is what meteorologists live for. So he got it tonight.